y'all, Christine Byer here, licensed esthetician for 22 years, and I am answering your questions that you asked last week about summer skincare. And these aren't all about summer skincare, but some of them are, so let's get started. I'm laying in my own treatment room, in my own treatment bed, and I'm going to be doing some work, but I wanted to multitask. So Rachel D asked the first question, and she says, I appreciate your content related to anything like massaging or microcurrents for reversing premature signs of aging. Well, of course, that is my specialty, right? I want to do a little bit of release work. I have already laid under LED, but when I don't have time for that, I have a little handheld that I keep upstairs. This is the Anma. This is a gua sha tool, and it's very versatile, so you can use the back of it, the spine. You can use it like this and do some lymph drainage. Maybe I should just relax this area first. So the jaw. The jaw has a very interesting way of being released with the Anma, and this is for the question. So I like to start out doing some cross fiber massage. And all these jaw muscles, it's like a unit or a conglomeration of muscles that get tight, with the masseter and the buccinator being big culprits of a lot of stress. So this is the way I like to do it. I like to go do a little bit of cross fiber massage, right there on the jaw. And then I like to take the unit and straddle my ear, and that feels good. When I'm working on clients, I will come up here and I go behind the ear, and I do like this whole C behind the ear, and then I'll have them open their mouth, and it's always looser on the side I've worked on. So I'm going to do that real quick. And I had everything all put back and neat, and now I'm messing it up. But sometimes with the Anma, that's what you got to do, and I've been wanting to release my jaw. I'm just doing it very quickie. So remember, cross fiber massage, up, down, diagonal, both diagonal, because fascia can be restricted anyway. I'm going to straddle my ear, and then we do the C. Oh, and this feels so good. And you can actually go inside your mouth. I've actually taught that before. I'm having a lot of sinus stuff. My allergies are driving me crazy. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to take care of. It feels so much better. When that jaw is loose, everything else drains much better. I would say start there. I've done many videos where I go inside the mouth. I did a 2-part series of releasing pain face. So if you think about what happens when the jaw is too tight, we purse our lips, we squint our eyes, we furrow. So we're in pain face. And when we release the jaw, everything sort of floats up and out. And the face drains better too. All right, what is the next question? How often to exfoliate with acids in the summer? How often to use LED red light on face? Well, okay, for the red light, it would really depend on your manufacturer. The one I use, I suggest 2 to 3 times a week, about a half hour each time. I remember when red LED came out, and they basically said use it twice a week for 30 minutes, because one really good dose of LED gets into the skin and activates the skin. It can be active in the skin for up to 14 days. It is increasing cellular turnover in the skin by 5 to 7 times for 14 days. That's no small feat, and that's a lot of activity. So I don't really understand why people have to use it every day unless they're using super low-powered devices that are not touching the skin. I really like devices that sit flush against the skin, so all of that LED energy can go straight into the skin and it's not all dispersed and going everywhere. I also like an LED where the diodes are packed tightly together, so you're getting the most energy for the time you put into it. So it's just a ton of energy into one spot. And how often to exfoliate with acids in the summer? So in the summer, you can do your acids. I mean, if you know you're going to be wearing sunscreen and a hat and all the good stuff, you can do it. But it depends on the acid, it depends on the concentration. So read the instructions, use them as directed. Now, if you know you're going to be out in the sun over the weekend, just don't use it. Don't use it for a few days before that. Acids, scrubs, exfoliants, they take away a level of protection that we have to the sun. So if you are not prepared for that sunny summer vacation, then if you don't have all the sunscreen in the hat and you've suddenly somebody says, let's go out on a boat, and you're like, and you have been laying on the retinol and laying on the acids, you're going to be a lobster. You're going to get really red unless you have SPF 100 and like a ski mask. But yeah, I've seen it so much. So just try to judge it where you could do it regularly, but if you know you're going to be in the sun that weekend, lay off. We always have time in September to start the repair work, so don't worry. Rosalie Vitali, she says, sunscreen recommendations. Either they are too drying or way too greasy. I've tried many, can't find one I like or likes me. So we work with 3 different sunscreens, and I'll show you me talking about them here. These are Korean sunscreens that I love them. You don't have to put on like a gob, like a full teaspoon on your face. That would actually be counterproductive. Now you can, but you'd be using too much because these are way more advanced technology than US sunscreens. In the US, there's a lot of regulation on sunscreens, which is good. We like regulations because it keeps our products safe. However, it also stunts innovation. So I tend to work with these 3 different sunscreens from Korea. One is an SPF tinted sunscreen with polylactic acid and all the good stuff in it, and that is from the HOP or House of PLLA line. That one is a blurring sort of BB cream that just wears beautifully and dries down the face, doesn't leave you greasy. In the summer, a lot of times I wear that just as my foundation. I'll put on a little bit of bronzer, do my eye makeup, and I'm done. And I love this packaging, but it always looks splitzy. And it comes with your little puff, and on this puff it has a side that helps blend in. This is my personal one. I don't really want to be putting any of this on, but I'll show you on my big red chin. Gosh, I put so much of this on that I'll have to take this back off. But this is so nice because it's blurring. It adds a little bit of color and hides a lot of redness, as you can see. Yeah, so it dries down to a really nice finish. I mean, for being just a BB cream, this is nice because you don't look ghostly. You got your SPF 50, and this has the polylactic acid in it, so it's a very special product. This is part of the facial filling line, the House of PLLA products from Korea. We have another one from Korea. This is called Sun Protection Ultra Repair. Now, this one is really nice. It's for sensitive skins and just regular skins. It has 6 peptides and 2 different plant stem cells in it. It has an SPF of 50 plus. It's 4 pluses. And it also has a technology in it that makes it disappear into the skin. I have to use this on Sienna in front of you guys so you can see that it leaves no white cast. I love that about their sunscreens because they don't feel greasy. This is for sensitive to regular, anybody could use this because it dries down nicely and it doesn't leave you greasy. It wears very nicely. It makes a great makeup base. We also have for the normal to oily, although anybody can wear this in the summer, to be honest. But this does have some oil wicking properties. Also Korean. This is the Dr. SD Sun Protection Mild. It also has that same technology in it that makes it disappear completely into the skin with no white cast. So either one of these are great. One is repairing, leaves no white residue. It's very nourishing for the skin. So this could be a one and done. Put a little makeup over on top of it, or just hit the beach and you're great. These do need to be reapplied. And the Sun Protection Mild, also SPF 50++++. So both of these are great bets for in the summer. Those are the 3 sunscreens I generally love for the face in the summer. Chica Duran asks, tightening around the mouth area, including smile lines. I guess maybe she's talking about smile lines through here, or the parentheses we say. Anti-aging around the mouth gets harder as we get older, as with everything. As far as skincare, you want to make sure you're using some superpowered human stem cell based serums. Anything from Neogenesis, anything from the HOP line is going to be great. And then on top of that, you want to be using a device that keeps this area exercised, and you also want to release areas that get overworked. So a common area to get overworked is the depressor. So this muscle that comes in right here and it pulls down. So I always tell people you're going to use your anma, do some cross-fiber massage to release that. I've also done videos where I go into the mouth and I pull that out so that it can be released and stretched back up. My inner teenager is coming out. I feel like it does every summer. I get excited, just like, oh, summer's here. See how that lifts. You want to make sure when you're doing the mouth area, you're going to release that, and then you're going to release the rosarius, which is the smile muscle, and how you find that. And people with parentheses generally can find them very easy because you smile and you get lines right here, right? So you need to go right between that line and pull up, and I'm kind of high up here. You'll feel it when you're on it because it feels like a release. So if you smile and laugh a lot, which is good, I mean, you really should. I suggest smiling and laughing a lot. So you'll feel it when you're on it. But how you find it is you smile and you'll have like little lines or a line, and we are just pulling it apart. And when you find it, when you're on top of it, it feels divine. Because who has ever released your rosarius? I am willing to bet $100 that nobody has ever released your rosarius. So yeah, or you can do it from the inside too, which is also a nice, very thorough release. I do that on a lot of clients. But if I release this depressor, DAO, if I release that and they still got all this stuff going on, it's because I have not released their smile lines. And there's so much that's going on through here. I also teach to release the balls that form because there's all these muscles that come together at the corner of the mouth. Yeah, so grabbing them and just rolling them around and releasing the corners of the mouth will bring relaxation to this mouth area. Now remember, releasing the jaw is very important because it is the axis of the face. If we don't release the jaw and we do all this work here and the jaw is still tight, we're still going to be stuck in pain face, right? So we need to release the jaw because a lot of times we'll do all this work here and it just won't look much better. It looks still tense. And then we go and release the jaw and this just sort of falls flat, which is wonderful. Another thing we can do for anti-aging in the mouth is the Aura Lift. I did an interview with the developer of Aura Lift a few months ago, Dr. Nick. He's in the UK. I will link down below to that interview. But anytime you open up circulation through here, the Aura Lift is almost like a little yoga block that makes more space in a tight jaw and invites new circulation, sort of resets the muscles, brings back the lower third of the face, and does a great job around this area. Because otherwise, if you grind and grind and grind over the decades, the angle of the mandible sort of turns in on itself and goes, we get all this stuff, and the face sort of, the chin shrinks in. So we really want to pop all that back out. And when you're doing the Aura Lift, you kind of look like this. But you're popping all this back out and opening up new circulation, but it has all these wonderful side effects too of rejuvenating the face. Mouth area rejuvenation, it takes release work, and then you want to go in with something like the Time Master Pro and just do circles around it, circles. You can do, I gotta take off this sunscreen so that I can show you this stuff. I'm supposed to be multitasking.